Look at the current situation your life is in. Are you married? Are you divorced? Are you rich? Are you poor? Now imagine that the exact set of circumstances that you're in right now was all due to something that you previously had no conscious idea about. What I'm talking about is our paradigm. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what is a paradigm, exactly how it controls our lives, and then some examples, good and bad, of ways that paradigms are sort of shaping our reality. So a paradigm is a set of theories, assumptions, and ideas that contribute to your worldview and in turn, how you operate in the world every day. So I want you to imagine when you were born, someone put a pair of red glasses on you. And these were surgically put on and you don't know that they exist. So for your whole life, you have looked through the world with a specific color of glasses covering your eyes. So everything that you see is obviously going to be tinted red. So this is where the rose-colored glasses comes in and where people are always thinking about, hey, the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. If you have these rose-tinted glasses, you're looking through the world through those lenses. Now what happens if someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, this is, let me take these off, you know? Your worldview is going to be completely different because the world now actually looks a completely different way than what you have gone with your entire life. This is a paradigm. And this is something that we all have our own version of lenses that are covering our eyes and showing us the way the world is from our perspective. All of us think we see the world as it is. In fact, we see the world as we are. Now, no one is immune to paradigms. We all have a certain way that we interpret information, and we all have a certain way that we look at the world. So whether you think that you don't want to be dealing with a paradigm, we all have a certain paradigm. It's just a lot of the paradigms that we go through our lives with, they were sort of chosen for us by people. Maybe they say something bad about you. Maybe your parents were not the greatest. Maybe whatever it is, most of the paradigms that we have and the way that we look at our life is usually by someone unconsciously placing these ideas into our heads. So what we want to do is we want to change those, and we want to use paradigms that are going to be helpful for us in the long run. So for example, we have the Christian paradigm, where you're looking at the world through the eyes of what the Bible says. And when you look at people who are not Christian, they're not Catholic, and they're living their life in a certain way, you're going to assume that they are not living life as they should be because they're not living it through the same paradigm as you. Is it right? Is it wrong? It doesn't matter. It's not important. There is no right and wrong. It's only our paradigms that we look through the world as. There's also the Muslim paradigm. There's the Buddhist paradigm. There's the Jewish paradigm. Every single religion has their own paradigm for how to live and be in this world. And then on top of that, we have political paradigms. So maybe you're leaning to the left, maybe you're leaning to the right. It doesn't matter. All it is both of these, usually, like for the most part, people are kind of centered, but right now, everything's all heated in the world. And yeah, you can really see that there's a lot of animosity between these two camps, between the right and the left. And is one right? Is one wrong? No, they both have good points. They both have dumb points. What it is, though, is it's just a certain paradigm that people look through. And a lot of people actually who can't really think or do any type of determining on their own, they actually look at the world through like, hey, these guys are evil because they're on the right. These guys are stupid and evil because they're on the left. You know, and no one has any type of, a lot of people seem to have this weird thought of like, whoever's on the left is evil, whoever's on the right is evil, when in reality, it's all just made out of people, and you're just looking at it through a paradigm of right versus left, you know? So an easy example of a paradigm that can definitely change your life for the better, no matter what, is looking at life through a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. So the fixed mindset paradigm pretty much says you were born how you were born, you can't really change too much, you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses. However you are is how you are. And this is something that a lot of the world looks at is this fixed mindset paradigm where they're just like, yeah, it is what it is. Or there is the growth mindset paradigm, which says, hey, even if you're not that great at something right now, you can be good at something right now. If you put in work and you put in effort and you try to get better at something, you can change to make that a strength of yours. Even if it's a weakness, you can iron out all those weaknesses and you can turn them into strengths, or you can turn them into something that's good. If you put in work at anything, you're going to be able to achieve it. So, for example, a lot of people think that once they hit past 15 or 20, they can't learn a language anymore because learning new languages is for babies. That's a fixed mindset way of thinking, and that's going to be a paradigm that's going to hurt you. I started learning Spanish in my late 20s, and now I know Spanish. Like a lot of people really believe, and my father is one of them, that he's too old to learn Spanish. I wish I learned it when I was your age. It's like, well, yeah, we both have the same type of brain, we're both old men. Just learn Spanish, It doesn't matter how long it's going to take, et cetera, et cetera. As long as you know and you understand that you can do it, this is going to be something that will help you in your life. Whereas if you have a fixed mindset, you're just not even going to try. You're not even going to see what you're capable of. There's the scarcity versus abundance. There's the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. There's the victim paradigm, and then there's the person at the effect paradigm. And so there's all these different paradigms that you can adopt in your world. So one of the ones that is definitely going to hurt you in your life is that you're the victim. You're being victimized. Whatever, like something, this happened, that set you back. Your parents weren't born wealthy. You didn't have all the opportunities. Maybe your parents were too wealthy and you have too much opportunity and it made you lazy. Whatever paradigm you can take to become the victim, it will keep you stuck in whatever way of thinking that kind of got you to where you are. And that's one of the things that we want to cut out. What we want to do is we want to change that so that you are at the cause of your whole life, and that is a much more helpful paradigm to embrace. For example, in terms of mathematics or something like that, say your teacher tells you that you're bad at math. You hear that when you're 8. Your teacher only says it one time, but you're going to repeat that again and again and again in your head until you come from the I'm bad at math paradigm. And that's it's not going to be a helpful paradigm, and it's a fixed paradigm where I'm bad at math. If you come from a growth paradigm, you're going to think, hey, this person said I'm bad at math. That's only one person's opinion. It doesn't make it law. And if I put in effort, I can become good at math. I can become an expert at mathematician or whatever it is you want to become, right? So this is something where there's a lot of different paradigms that you can kind of come at the world with. And the thing is, which paradigm is the truth? That's what we want to ask ourselves. And the fact is, you can make an argument for both. You can make an argument that, yeah, you have been victimized. Maybe your parents were too wealthy and you're lazy now. Maybe your parents were too broke and you don't have any money to get off on the right foot. Or you can just say they did their best, whatever it is. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I can have results or I can have excuses. I can't have both. It's a quote from our boy Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you have to just accept, like, hey, I'm going to be at the cause of my life from now on. I will not be victimized by anything. And a lot of people choose to become victims. They choose to say, hey, like, this, I was born like this. I can't succeed because of this reason. And the thing is, if you come from a paradigm where you are at the cause, you are able to grow, you are able to change who you are, you're going to actually be able to change who you are. You're going to be able to grow into the person who you want to become. And this is a very, very helpful paradigm to come at your life with. One other thing about these very, very powerful paradigms is a lot of them are actually going to be sort of contradictory. So one thing in terms of living life in abundance, a paradigm of abundance, is you want to be like, okay, wherever I go, people have my best interests in mind. Wherever I go, people are going to be very kind to me. They're going to want to see me. They're going to want to, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever it is, you think in terms of like the abundance mindset where people are just friendly, friendly people. And they all have their best interests in mind, and you can help them and they can help you, and everyone's going to be win-win. That's a good way to think about the world. But then we also have to balance that out with not being an idiot. and there is real danger in the world, and we do need to take precautions for those. So you'd be dumb to just leave your laptop on the table being like, I come from abundance. Everyone else comes from abundance. Everyone has my best interests in mind. So you're not stupid to think, hey, the world is abundance. Everyone has my best interests in mind. You're not stupid to think that at all. But you would be stupid to leave your laptop on the table, leave everything unsupervised, whatever it is, just trusting that everyone else comes from abundance. Understand, other people have their own paradigms to live by, and you have to take precautions against that. If you're in business, you want to think that, hey, whatever it is, like we're all working together. This is a win-win situation when you're trying to close deals. Hey, we're all buddies here, etc. But then also at the same time, keep in mind that there are people who are trying to steal your employees. There's people who are trying to steal your ideas. There's people who are going to try and steal your clients. It's good to think in this abundance paradigm, but also at the same time and contradictorily and as a paradox, you also want to take precautions against other people's paradigms who are going to be kind of trying to steal all your shit in there. That is a real thing, is that people do try to do that, and you can think of it as other people's paradigms. Other people's paradigms are going to interact with your paradigm, and you don't really want to get jaded by the world and and think of everything as like you have to put your shield up because everyone's scary and everyone has your worst interests in mind. Don't think like that. You do want to think about it, come from like a positive abundance and collaborative paradigm with the world. But then, yeah, you also need to kind of take into account that not everyone does have our best interest in mind, and we don't have to worry about it, but we do have to take precaution against things that could sort of damage. So don't be afraid to drop a paradigm. If it doesn't help you, just get rid of it. If there's something in your life that before this, all of your paradigms have been unconscious, right? If there's something that someone told you and you have believed it your whole life and it's not helpful for you, get rid of it. Take these unconscious paradigms that we were given these as we were kids, just take them, bring them to the conscious level, understand them, understand where they came from. You don't actually need to understand where they came from, but understand how it's hurting you and then get rid of it, swap it out for something else, for a different paradigm. Example would be, hey, I have a fixed mindset. I can't improve on anything, Instead, just be like, oh, actually, if I put in work, I can improve. And then you just kind of put that into your new conscious thing and then go and search for examples and proof that this is real. This is called confirmation bias in the 21 cognitive biases that we all have. Is we're always looking for ways to confirm our beliefs. So exactly, if there's something that's not helping you, find it, bring it conscious, switch it for something that is going to be helpful, and then look in the environment for ways that this is true, ways that you're confirming this new bias, this new paradigm that you have, and then you can bring that down into the unconscious realm, and then you have a new belief, a new core belief, and a new paradigm to look at the world that's going to help you instead of hurt you. And if you do change a paradigm and then you go through life and it gets you to a certain level and then you realize that that's not helping you anymore, don't be afraid to swap out. You just swap out what helps you, what hurts you, what helps you, what hurts you, and then things are always changing. So sometimes what got you here won't get you there, right? So you always have to kind of change your paradigms up and just be flexible. Don't be able to adapt to everything. And that is my recommendation for you. And then we will keep doing that. Be adaptable, be willing to change, be willing to adjust your paradigm to fit in a world that's going to help you. And then we just keep doing that, rinse and repeat over and over again until we die. Remember that a paradigm is our lenses that we use to see the world. Now, an argument can be made for every paradigm, good or bad, but it's not really good to live life in these negative, unhelpful paradigms. And you can choose whatever paradigm is going to be good for you. And remember that a lot of the paradigms that we have in our life, we have chosen unconsciously. So take them from unconscious, bring them conscious, change them, swap them out for something that's helpful, and then make those new conscious paradigms unconscious and bring them back down again so they happen automatically. And it's going to help a lot in your life. If you like this video about paradigms, we also made a video on core beliefs as well. On top of this, a video here on reframing those paradigms and changing them up. So hope you enjoy those and looking forward to see you in the next video.